Good morning. Welcome to ACOS for Autism live show. Um, sorry, working on this over there. Good morning. Good morning, Mama. How are we doing today?
Hola.
Hola. Why are you looking at me like that?
What?
Yeah, you look at me like I'm up to something. I'm not up to anything.
I know.
You're always looking at me like I'm up to something, man.
Because you blind me with we're just gonna roll. I'm like, okay, what are
Yeah,
we talking
because
about?
it's a lot of fun things. Well, first of all, we had another really good week with our Eat for Autism, awareness month for autism, which has been really great. So thank you for everyone that has shown up for support, for donations that have been coming in. We're doing some really cool things, and honestly, just really excited because now we're really starting to get into the nitty gritty of treatments. Right, we're actually getting into getting to see some of the results from the kids and all the other fun things that we're doing. So that's really exciting for me. So
It's the best part of
yeah,
it
it's the
all.
best part about what we're doing and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish here as far as helping our babies, helping these kids, with autism, or helping these kids that have been hurt, or that helping these kids that are struggling with something, body inflammation, gut inflammation, whole child health development. And that's, obviously what we really want to focus on. So, um, you know, for you, because your situation is different than mine,
Right.
right? So, your son is speaking, and you've done a lot of different things to kind of help him get to where he's at, where he lives more of a normal life, right? Where he
More
get
normal than most.
more
Right.
normal than most. Yeah. Well, not most, more normal than kids with autism,
Right.
right? But it didn't start that way.
No.
And I think that's where people get lost because they're looking at such a long scheme of things where, there's a mass amount of change, right? I think there's so many people that are now questioning, should I get my baby's vaccinated? Should I do this? Should I,
Start ABA.
do all these things?
Yeah.
Well, no, let's just start back to like thoughts at birth, right? When you were first trying to figure out if you're gonna do vaccines or not at birth, right? What did you do? What did you first do when you were like, okay, I got to make this decision. I got to figure out, am I gonna do vaccines or not? How did you make that decision?
Honestly, it wasn't even a decision that I really thought about. It
Yeah.
was, this is a protocol. This is what we do. This is what we have to do, and just do it.
Yeah.
That was it.
I've learned over the course years that it's not that people are just becoming anti-vax to become anti-vax.
Right.
Like, I wish people stopped for a second and logically thought, be like, okay, why are so many people turning anti-vax? It's not that so many people are turning anti-vax or turning anti-bullshit,
Right.
but most importantly, I think moms know. I think moms.
Oh, it's always a gut feeling.
I think moms know, but back to the reason why people are becoming more anti-vax, opinionated on
about
that
vaccines.
is because of vaccinations,
Right.
because of experience. I wish people took a step back and were like, oh, you know what? That's actually their experience with what they have, or with what they're going through.
Right.
It's a completely different experience than 20, 30 years ago. Whereas now we're putting 75 plus vaccines into our babies' bodies at birth. And
I feel like it
that's
has to
terrible.
become more of a common conversation,
Yeah.
as far as like, you see someone that gets a car that you're thinking about getting. And hey, how do you like that car?
Yeah.
How does it drive? How does it this? How does that? It can be the same
Yeah.
conversation and not turn ugly,
Or
like
political.
it tends to, or
The
political.
problem is that it's politicized, right? That
Yeah,
vaccines are politicized
unfortunately.
because of the amount of money that's involved, right? Because
Mhm.
think about it.
It doesn't-
How do pediatricians make their money? Like, pediatricians only make their money based on antibiotics, prescriptions, and vaccines.
And this shouldn't be a political thing, because it's our children.
And so that's why I get so frustrated, because it should only be about them.
Right.
We're making this, we're allowing other people to make decisions for our babies.
Right.
Like, I'm telling you, I've never heard so many more stories from moms that have just been like, I knew to not do this. I knew to not put that vaccine. My
Or
own
they
wife says
knew
that. I
it-
say it.
Or
I'm
they
like,
knew it after it happened.
yes,
Yeah.
but not even that. No, before the fact, we asked our pediatrician. We specifically said, like, what about the connections to autism?
Mhm.
Like, what are our concerns be that? Oh, there's no concerns.
Mhm.
It's safe,
And
it's
unfortunately,
effective.
it's because they
No,
don't know.
yeah, they don't know.
Yeah.
But the problem is they still say that it's safe and effective. So as a Gen Pop,
Yeah.
we're all thinking to ourselves, okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
And then the next day, my son gets hecka sick and gets a 104, 105 fever, and
Right.
starts experiencing really severe brain trauma.
Mhm.
And that's body trauma. I mean, there's so much things that people aren't taking into consideration when you're putting all of these poisons into your baby's body right after birth. You don't need to do that, and you need to be educated on what exactly you are putting into your baby's body. Because if you were, you would know that you probably shouldn't be putting some of these things in there at all, period.
Right.
In general. The metals, the aluminum. I saw a stat the other day that there's 13,000 grams of aluminum going into our baby's body after their first year of just vaccines. That's
It's
disgusting.
wild.
That's disgusting. Like,
It's
and that's a fact.
wild.
That's literally just happening. People
Yeah.
are just putting these poisons blindly into our baby's bodies
And how
and saying it's okay.
ingestion is different than injection.
But when you look at the past 5-6 years, when all these vaccines have increased, and now we're doing 5-in-1, it's disgusting. They just came out with another 6-in-1.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are we overloading? Why are we allowing this to happen?
Mhm.
Like, this needs to stop. Like, every mom knows when they go into that doctor's office, they know, they understand, okay, I need to not do this to my baby.
Well, we were just watching video with Del Bigtree, and he's talking
Yep.
about how that 6-month mark
Yes,
is
dude.
they oh darn it, now I wish I remember
It's
what
so
it said.
pivotal.
How they give up to it's like 10 shots at one visit.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And it's like, if that happens to you and you're feeling this gut feeling about it, or you feel like, let me do some more research about it, you can walk out. You don't have to do what the doctor is suggesting that you do. If you ever feel uncomfortable,
isn't that crazy though that in
say,
California,
can we reschedule? Let's reschedule this so I can have some time to talk to my husband or talk to
but what
whoever
they
you
do
need
is
to
they
get.
try to make you feel like it's mandatory. They put your jobs at risk. They put your livelihoods at risk. They put your kids at risk. They put your future in risk. They say if you don't do this, you can't take your kids to public school. You
It's a
can't.
threat.
It's
Yeah.
literally an open-ended threat continuously. And so most parents don't want to deal with that, so they just blindly abide by it. And they just say, "Oh, okay, fine. I don't
Well,
want to
you
deal with that. I'm just going to take my kids to public school like everybody else." Well, that's why you're seeing a dramatic increase of child sickness.
You withdraw your fight because you're like, well, I'm not going to win this battle. Well, things are changing.
Yeah, that's why we don't withdraw our fight.
Right.
That's why we consistently do this every single day. We fight the battle, we fight the good fight, because it should only be about our kids.
Right.
And we are doing things here at this facility that no one else is even trying to do, or even raising the questions that we're raising. And we're approaching this biologically, behaviorally, all the things. We know what we need to do to make this work. And I wish other people would just understand, like, this is what we're doing is something completely different than what anyone else has even tried to do.
And it has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
It has nothing
political. We are a
with
safe place for families to
anything like
come
that.
to get information, to get truth, to come get treatment, to come get tested, to come find the right answers for their
Come have
kids.
conversations.
Yes,
To
to
ask
learn.
questions. Yeah.
To not be scared.
Right.
To not be scared where you're surrounded with like-minded families that understand what you're going through, and not just something that's a speculative, or
End all be all.
yes, oh, you should feel this way because of this. You should feel this. No, just however you feel. Come as you are. We want to accept you for however you feel, or however that, whatever happens. So, with ACOS for Autism, that's why I think what we're doing is really powerful, because we're actually trying to help these kids have a better quality of life. And that is it. We just want them to have a better quality of life, whether that's eliminating the inflammation from their brains, regenerative therapy, inflammation therapy, gut therapy, supplementation therapy, vitamin therapy. But that's why it's so important to test these babies to figure out what's going on with them, so we can help give them a healthier life.
Know what's going on.
At the root of it, it's just a health issue.
Yeah.
Right? Why did allergies all of a sudden come out of nowhere? Why did ADHD come out of nowhere? Like, that was a rise. And no one paid attention to ADHD.
Right.
That shit was popping like that. I mean, that really is a pandemic.
Was like 4th of July.
People were popping Ritalin and all kinds of things, Xanax, like Skittles. You know what I mean? And now we've got a whole different problem.
Right.
And so it's just kind of crazy where we can see these problems coming, and then we just brush it under the rug. First it was the opioid pandemic. Well, that was safe and effective, and then that killed millions. Then you got ADHD and neurological disorders that are starting to come like crazy. And it's just like, why aren't we paying attention to this? We need to be doing something different. This is obviously not working.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do, is get the right, ask the right questions to get the right answers, so that we can move forward to actually help treat, what needs to be treated, because no one even knows how to do that right now. It's a simple, speech or occupational or ABA or stuff like that, which is all great, which is all stuff we want to incorporate too. But we need to get
underneath that, because that's treating the behavior that is coming from the missing components that needs to help them function properly. That's just a behavior. That's a byproduct of what's really going on underneath. And which is what we're doing.
That's all we're trying to do, is trying to find the right answers to give the best results.
Mhm.
And whether that's just a simple,
Dude.
great day to come in here and hang out with a bunch of other kids
Yeah.
and to see the other, amazing, progress that's happening. I mean,
The progress is wild,
yeah,
you guys. Like, I'm like
yeah,
even blown away by my own son because, like Casey said,
yeah,
he's verbal. You know,
yeah,
we can have conversation, and it may be broken and whatnot, but he can still at least tell me how he's thinking,
yeah,
what he's feeling, stuff like that. But his speech is
yeah.
exploding right now.
Incredible. He's having full on conversations. Like it's amazing to see. And
Right.
I can't wait for that day for my son too, but that's exactly what we're trying to do here.
Mhm.
We want to evolve and develop these kids in a way that no one else is even trying to do.
Right.
My son has been in ABA therapy since he was 2 years old, occupational speech, you name it, private,
Yeah, we
everything.
started at 1.5.
And it's been the
Yeah.
same consistent course. So that's why you have to keep trying new things. You can't
Mhm.
keep doing the same thing over and over again, or
And
that's
expect
insanity.
change, yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing something different that's actually giving, at least at the very least, a little bit of relief to these kids that are hurting,
Right.
that are actually hurting, the ones that are struggling with inflammation, the brain, the
Uh-huh.
body, the stomach, the gut. There's so many things that have made our babies sicker and sicker. And that's why it's so important to whole body child health, and
Right.
understanding what that actually truly means.
Mhm.
So we test the babies, test them for deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, nutrient deficiencies, MHTFR. You find these certain common denominators, and you can help, with supplemental help or infrared lasers, new technology to help get
Yeah.
rid of the
So
inflammation.
much technology.
Yes, and
So much
that's what's yes,
non-invasive
non-invasive,
technology.
and that's what's working.
Yeah.
And I wish people could just pay attention just a little bit. So I'm trying to get more video and content out there, but
Just have an open mind, just have an open heart.
yeah,
Because if you wanna fully commit to trying something new and something that's not gonna hurt your child,
yeah,
and in turn, hopefully that gives you guys some peace, that gives your child peace, it gives your child relief, which in turn is gonna give you guys relief.
yeah,
It's just full circle.
yeah,
It's just nothing but benefit the
yeah,
family,
yeah.
honestly.
And honestly, guys, we're friendly too. So like, if you guys like just want to, I have so many people just popping by this week.
Yeah.
We have some amazing sponsors that are coming through and stopping by, and we're helping take care of some new families that are coming in that did apply to become get a sponsorship. So honestly, if you are curious, just come pop by, come say hi, come see what we've been doing with the treatment center, with the Brain Hub treatment room, and the technology that's actually in that room. So you can kind of understand it and be able to share that too with what we're trying to do, because we want to grow, we want to evolve, we want to help more kids, we want to help
We
more
have
of our
big
babies. Yeah, we got
plans.
big
Big
plans,
plans.
big dreams, big visions, big hearts, but we need big funds, big resources,
Yeah.
big hearts out there that can help and that want to help. And that's what we're looking for too, is people that want to continue to help support us in a way that's going to help these kiddos continue to get better and better. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. We got lots of events coming up, tons. So pay attention to our social media. We're gonna make a few announcements here. We got a big golf tournament that we're working on. We got some really fun Mother's Day events, some family couples events, some events out here, some activities, some fun active events too for our babies too, to keep them active. So stay tuned, and we appreciate you guys always for your support, even if it's just chiming in or sending us a message. Honestly, it was really cool
They
this
help.
weekend. Like,
Yeah.
I had quite a few people. I was just at the grocery store, and people were coming up, and they were just saying, "Hey, thank you for what you're doing." I don't think you know what that means to me, because I get a lot of the other side of it too, as our fight,
Mhm.
continues every day, and we're so divided as a country for no
Right.
reason, when this should really only be about our babies. And I wish that that's what we made it about. So
We had to keep focused, right? We had to keep focused on what the goal
yeah.
is and not start turning on each other
And stay
because
positive, yes, and
yeah,
encourage each other to, "Hey, I have my truth, and I know what happened to my son.
right.
I know what happened to millions of other families that tell me this
Right.
in public. They tell me
Literally, his DMs are
it's
crazy.
nuts."
Yeah.
And then I'm going on public, and people are saying things, and I think that's amazing. It really helps me continue, because the battle is an emotional toll, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's crazy. So I appreciate the love and the respect and the support that we get. So,
Mhm.
don't be shy. Give us that support. Come step up.
Absolutely.
Be bold with us. Be courageous. But most importantly, let's stick together. Don't let bureaucratic bullshit get in the way of our true goal, which is our babies.
100%.
It's our babies. It's
100%.
our children. Our children have been getting sicker and sicker. Wake up.
Mhm.
It's common sense. The only thing that's been happening is environmental factors. Okay, one in four boys now in California. There's a reason for that. We need to start paying attention, and we need to start being open and honest with ourselves. We need pediatricians to be open and honest too. They've seen this happen for years and years. Most of the good doctors now, most of the good pediatricians, guess what? They're no longer pediatricians.
Right.
They don't want to be because they've seen it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They don't want to be
And
pediatricians.
we hear it from teachers. We hear it from teachers who are like,
Yeah.
I've seen this rise. Like, this
Yeah.
is wild. There's a lot of different, like, everyone who sees our children on a regular are
Knows.
noticing
Yes.
a pattern. And what are we doing to stop that? We can't just keep conforming to like, oh, this is the way it is.
Yep.
No, we
No.
can't. We can't. Not with
No.
this.
Not anymore. We got to start banding together,
Right.
and this is not just a battle, this is a war, and I mean
100%.
it's a war on the health of our kids, and I wish people took it a little more seriously and took a little bit more, well, maybe I should pay attention just a little bit and listen to what they're saying, because they lived out a different experience. And God forbid that if you keep vaccinating your babies at such an incremental rate that they get sick too. God forbid. But that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid.
And speaking to the autism parents too, I think it's if you think that we're low on resources now, at the rate that autism rates are climbing, imagine how we're going to be scraping for those resources even more so. So we have to get a hold and get a grip on what's happening right now and try in the best way to heal our babies who are already diagnosed, who are already going through it. Try and help our babies so we won't have to rely on beating each other up for resources for our own child. I mean, if we have opportunity here to do something different, and you see that it's having a positive impact on our kids already, and our few kids that we are treating, where they don't scream and fight when they have to come in here and get treatment, they run to treatment, and the relief on their face and the relief on their parents' face, like, we cannot make this up, and we would not make this up. This is true validity to the work that we're doing. And we want more of you guys to come in and come experience this.
Amen. We're going to leave it at that. So thank you guys. Stay tuned. Lots to come. Appreciate you guys tuning in, all your support, and
have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week. Let's make it a great week as we close out Autism Awareness Month. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.